Hi, everyone, and welcome to another A and B Horror Movies video. I'm Aaron,
I'm Ben.
and today we're very happy to be joined by Ricky Umberger. Ricky, welcome. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
I appreciate you guys getting me on. Good to be
this
with
is
you
great.
finally.
Yes,
Oh,
finally, we had to
cool.
reschedule a few times, so we're happy to make this
Yeah.
happen. Let's see, you wrote, directed, and appeared in the Fear Footage trilogy. That's the first Fear Footage. The second one is The Cursed Tape, and then the third one is called 3 a.m. And you also wrote and directed and starred in the new film that's out right now called Project Eerie, which is streaming. And you can also purchase a physical copy on thefearfootage.com. Is that right? Fearfootage.com? Okay,
Got it.
perfect. Yes. And we'll talk about the physical copies in a moment, because as you can tell, Ben and I are very much into physical media. But
So
like
you just can't from this view. I got a huge collection over there too.
okay, excellent. Then you're in good company.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you so much for chatting with us. Before we get into the questions, I just want to say that I love your films. Probably the best found footage movies that have come out in a long time. So
I appreciate it, man.
we are huge fans, and we are very excited to talk with you. So without any more delay, Ben, why don't you jump in with the first question?
Yep. I suppose I'll ask first, how did this all come about to be making a movie? Well, to make a found footage movie, should I say?
It so I never actually planned to kind of be a filmmaker. I made a short in 2016. It was just a short found footage. Oh my goodness. I gotta answer this door, guys. You gotta give me 1 second. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Hold up 1 second.
Meanwhile, well, Ben, I hope you had a nice Christmas.
You can cut that out. We'll cut that out.
We're glad you came back. Imagine if you didn't return.
Do not worry about that. There's been Frozen, and Aaron's been talking cats with a guest.
Yeah, and I said 3 times we're going to cut this out, and then we never did. And it's probably one of the funniest parts in any of our videos.
Should I just answer the question, or how you want to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Jump right back in.
It was a 15-minute little found footage, and I liked doing it. It was fun, and I was like, well, why don't I do another one of these, and then another one, and then that's how the first Fear footage happened. It was just a few different shorts I did, and then I was like, how can I make this? And then I just kind of built the wraparound. But yeah, I was just like, I want to try this. It seems kind of fun, and just did it on a whim. I filmed it in one night, the first thing I did, and it came together pretty good.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it took off. It was fun, and so I didn't even really sit down and write the first Fear footage as a feature length. I would write one short, one short. It was never these are all going to be together. It's going to be, and it just kind of worked out that way.
That's so cool. I guess I would say the stars aligned with these films, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I love them all. They all came together nicely. So in the first one, the framing story, there's a lot of really smart editing that happens where, if you haven't seen it, he goes through a door and then shows up in a different part of the house. What was it like filming that and then editing it? And what were some of the challenges to make it look as awesome as it does?
I appreciate it, because it was actually it's not like I overthought it. I just kind of, the way I was cutting that was, as soon as the chest camera got close to the door, where the all white would black it out, then it would cut, and then I would be at a different door where this close to it with the all white, and then open it up from there. So it would just be a small second that you wouldn't be able to tell, but it was actually easy. It wasn't like it was challenging. I think I shot one take. It was just boom, boom. I knew I could fix them, and I could make them. I could find the connection when I was editing it. So I never really overthought it. Cool. It did come together good. I actually, not long ago, I watched it, and I was like, it does. You really can't tell at all.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, and it's so claustrophobic. Very well done.
But the reason for that was because I was thinking, when I was writing the wraparound, I'm like, well, if he goes out the door, it's over. He's just going to get in his car, leave. So I'm like, he can't leave. So I got to add something to where, oh, he can't leave, you know, or otherwise he's just like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Nicely done.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So obviously with the first the three that you done, the fear footage, there's the house returns, there's the sort of the cabin and places like with those three and Project Eerie, were they all sort of the same location? Was they all close to each other, or did you have to travel a bit?
So with the first fear footage, I kind of just used whatever I had access to. Like the main house, it's my grandmother's house. She passed away. It was her house. Like the church in the third story at the end of it, that was her church. So what else was in there? The tunnels were just tunnels that are near my house. And I just filmed there. I just went there. Actually, I filmed most of that in the daytime, but they're so dark inside you can't tell.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so scary.
Yeah, and the house with the clown in the first video footage is my house. So, and I don't know if you noticed, that's also the house that the two teenagers are watching Project Eerie in. It's just I filmed it a different way, so you really kind of can't tell.
I didn't notice that. I'll have to check it out again.
And cool. Another thing is in the park ranger story of Project Eerie. I don't know. Are we getting in I guess I can spoil it. It's my movie, right?
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Go for it.
It's been out long enough now. If you haven't seen it, no. But the park ranger, the house at the end, that's like the abandoned house. That's the abandoned house I used in, I think it was Fear Footage 2, where he goes in and I think it was in night vision, but you kind of really can't tell because I just shot it differently. But that's actually a friend of mine's house. He like inherited an abandoned house. It's his grandfather's or something. And I mean, it's a decent house. It just needs to be refixed. And it's just sitting there. So I'm like, hey man, can I film in here? And he's like, sure.
So cool.
But I kind of used it every way I could now, but it's just stuff that I have access to, or an Airbnb. Fear Footage 3 a.m. That farmhouse was an Airbnb, and I just filmed.
Oh, wow. Did you get permission to film there, or you just rented it out?
I didn't. No, I do guerrilla filmmaking. So on this,
of course.
One, the second story on this one, which is the like with the astronaut, they were there in the cabin. That was also an Airbnb, but I did let the guy know what I was doing. I was like, hey man, I want to film this little short there. He's like, I don't care. It was only like 20 acres. Nobody even knew what we were doing. But I just wanted them to know because I actually hired actors for that one. And I had them come in and I wanted to be a little more professional. So I had to let the guy know. I didn't want him showing up like, what the hell are you guys doing? Kick us off the property. I got people there that drove in 2-3 hours. So I had to let him know.
What about the house in the Amish segment in Project Eerie? Where was that one?
That was an Airbnb. That was
Airbnb as well. Okay.
That was I forgot. That's on a nature reserve in Virginia. It's on like, I think it's 900 acres. So we just had, and I stayed there before just as like a vacation. We went down there. And when I was there, I was like, okay, I'm going to use this at some point. I just didn't know what it would be for. And then once I knew I was doing an Amish story, I was like, this house is going to be perfect.
It was perfect. It's very scary setting.
It was.
I wanted to talk a little bit about like I said, we're going to get into the physical media of a little bit, but your additions are amazing. Like the first fear footage comes in an evidence bag. How cool is that? The second one comes even in like, I don't know, I guess an evidence bag as well, but with a warning on it. It's got like a Ziploc seal.
Don't watch that, you'll get cursed.
Yeah, don't open that. And then the third one, 3 a.m., comes with like a postcard. I mean, I just love sharing this, and I guess I don't really have a question, but I wanted to
I put a lot of work into that. I'm glad you appreciate it.
And this Project Eerie, so cool, right? With the Ben, I'll have to get you some of these copies for you. It's just amazing. So really nice job. Physical media collector. I'm a huge fan, and I love them.
And that's like exactly why I made them unique like that, is because it's going to make physical collectors like yourself be like, even if you haven't seen it, or you're like, I kind of got to have the packaging of that though. I had there's a few people that have actually bought, just when I had the trilogy, they bought the trilogy twice, and they were like, there's 3 I'm going to watch, and then 3 I'm just leaving in a collection, like not going to touch them. I'm like, man, that's dedication. I don't even have 2 copies of each. So but I wanted to stand out, so I get some.
If anyone in the UK wanted to get a copy, do do you ship to the UK?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, ship worldwide. Yep.
okay,
Ah,
brilliant.
cool. Let's
Sent a lot.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nice. Let's talk then.
I've got to ask, how difficult to sort of write these, because obviously you've got all your different segments. And me knowing my mind would start. You if you watched our videos, you probably noticed me and Aaron's minds just wander with other things. So, like you're writing a story with a certain sort of, I don't know, say just a certain bit to it. Does your mind start wandering and thinking, oh, I could now put this in, and then go, actually, that would be good for another short, so I'll keep this like this. Is it hard?
That's kind of how it works, honestly. You know what I learned when I'm doing this is that I write down every idea. I put every idea like on a notepad or in my phone, and just because it's almost like there's been times I thought of something, I'm like, damn, that'd be cool, and then you don't write it down, you just forget about it. So like right now I'm writing the next project, and I have so many just little notes, and then what I'm gonna have to do at some point is sit down and make it all connect, figure out, okay, this gets here from this, and then so it doesn't really wander. It does wander at first, but then you gotta hone in and kind of get disciplined and make it come together in some sort of cohesive way.
It must be really cool, freedom wise though, because I mean, we can drive where I live down a country lane, and there be a house, and I think to myself, that would be a cool house for a horror film. And you could just is that how you sort of do it? You drive around, see something, can go, I could use this in a horror film, or
that's honestly exactly what I've done for a lot of it is I'll find a location and then right around the location. Yeah. Like, it's almost better because then you kind of know what you have rather than writing a story and having to find all these locations.
Yeah.
It's better to kind of already know where they are and then incorporate them in the story, because then you know exactly what you got, rather than you're pitching something in your head and you just can't find it. And now what are you doing with the scene? So yeah, but I'll do that. I'll see things. That's another thing all these new notes I got. There's so many little locations like that. Like there's I don't know, a church here, there's a cemetery here or something, and I'll just write them all in. So then if I need it, I can go in and go, okay, there's one here. I could use that, or use this. I just write everything down. Cool. I learned that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting to hear what your creative process is like. That's awesome. So with the Fear Footage trilogy, the first one is a horror anthology. Project Eerie, which is your brand new movie, is also an anthology. But then parts 2 and 3 of Fear build upon the framing story, right? What would you say is your preferred type of film? Would it be an anthology film or a standalone film, like parts 2 and 3 of the Fear Footage?
Anthology. But it's the thing with the anthology, it's a lot harder to make one because
interesting.
You need so many different characters, so many different, each story is pretty much a little movie. So it's got to have its own locations and its own cast. And so it's a lot harder to make one. But I think I like writing found footage better in anthology format, to where it's like 20 minutes. And then you're kind of getting in there and, it's hitting pretty quick. But I don't mind like feature-length narratives either. And the reason I switched 2 and 3 to full-length narratives was honestly the comparisons to VHS, which I didn't like. And because I'm not even a huge fan of the first VHS, and that was the only one of them out at that point. So I wasn't trying to copy that. I wasn't trying to make a movie like that. I just made 3 shorts that were found footage and then had to figure out how to put them together. It was never like, I'm going to sit down and write VHS. I actually honestly didn't like that movie at the time. So that's the reason I switched 2 and 3 to full stories, because I didn't like that. And then I was like, I'm still going to do an anthology at some point, but I'm going to get away from it right now.
Yeah.
And then I still got the same thing with this. It was compared to VHS with Project Eerie. So I was like, oh, damn, I'm back to it.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I didn't think of VHS. Go ahead, man.
Me neither. But so many people do. Like, so many reviews. Yeah, it's just a cheaper VHS. I'm like, just because it's found footage and it's an anthology, why? I think it's more like Creepshow or something. Why?
Yeah, Body Bags or Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah,
Tales from the Dark Side.
That's how I was trying. I was trying to make like a Creepshow anthology, just in found footage format.
Yeah, no. But the the first part of the first fifth footage with the policeman going into the house, I actually see that somebody put it as like a compilation of real ghost sightings.
Really?
I don't know if they've obviously took other people's videos, but they'd used that, and I was like, when it ended, they ended it at the point where you didn't actually really get to see anything. And I was like, well, where's the rest of the footage then? But now I've seen the film, and I was like, I've got that now. But yeah, I was like, well,
Oh,
so
wow.
I've got to give you credit. It seemed really real because I believed it was proper police footage.
Until you start seeing all this stuff popping out, but they
Yeah.
got it to
Yes.
like, this seems kind of real. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You'll
I've
have to
dropped
share
someone in
the
it now.
share the link. Yeah, share the link, Ben, if you can.
I'll have to try and
Yeah.
find it. And, yeah, but on with you saying stuff popping out and everything. How difficult was the makeup and stuff? Because there was some really cool. So my oldest son watched this, and he loved a lot of the makeup.
You're talking
Right.
Project Eerie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Project Eerie or Fear Footage. They've got some really scary faces in, and
A lot of it is, most of it is masks, and the way I think it can work in found footage is it's always quick glimpses in found footage.
Yeah.
So it's never like you're zoned in on something too long. So I mean, not all of it is. There's like some, like some of the bloody stuff is like prosthetics that were on, or like, there's other things that aren't masks. But when it's found footage, it can work. I think like the astronaut, like that's a silicone mask,
Yeah.
but like it moves and shit. So you can't, and it's in such flashes. I think it's kind of effective.
is it?
So that's how a lot of it is, because when I'm filming these, for the most part, it's never like a really coordinated, scheduled, logistically
Yeah.
great process. It's like, oh wait, this is nice. I should film something here. I got my phone on me. I'll bring a mask with me next, and it's like I do it like that. So it's not. So I got to do it in ways that's kind of quick, because a lot of times, like we've already mentioned, I'm filming in places I don't have permission to be in. So I can't. You know what I mean?
One take and get out of there.
I think
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like 1 or 2 takes, and let's get the hell out of here.
a quick glimpse, I think, kind of lets you see enough, but leaves enough for your imagination to start doing what it does, which is we've sort of spoke before, which is makes things scarier because your imagination is the best thing.
Oh, exactly.
I
Yeah,
agree.
what you don't see, right?
Definitely.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Project Eerie has more of a science fiction approach than the first 3 films that you worked on. Did you always intend to do a sci-fi theme? And what did you learn from making the first 3 films that you applied to Project Eerie?
So I didn't really set out to do a sci-fi. I think the stories just kind of went that way. I knew I wanted to do story, like kind of out there kind of stories, to where they're taking turns. You're not really, it's not like your normal traditional, like the Fear Footage trilogy was kind of just haunted house stuff. This is a little deeper than that. So that's just kind of where the stories went. And I also had to make the stories be something like the kids find a government disc. It's got to be something that the government would actually be investigating. So like, a sand that's eating, or a beach that's eating people, they might look into that. Or like the moon flickering, they're probably going to look into that. A missing astronaut, they're going to be, so that's, so the stories kind of had to be something they would be investigating. So, what else could it be? It would have to be something on Earth kind of, and that's just the way it worked. It just kind of turned into that. I didn't sit down and expect to, honestly, when I did a film festival down in Virginia, and it got best sci-fi horror, and I was like, sci-fi? It didn't even register to me that it was that, because I didn't never sit down and kind of write that. But I definitely see it. But yeah, it wasn't like I want to write a sci-fi movie. I think the stories just went in that direction for the most part. And as far as what I learned, I honestly, I think I learned more maybe on this one than I did on making the trilogy, because I made the trilogy, each one pretty much the same. They were kind of like, it was just all friends, and that there was like no one hired. I paid them, but they weren't like, hired people I didn't know. So
Mhm.
like with this one, I actually hired 2 actors at the in the one segment. So, this one was a bigger learning curve. But as far as, I mean, I just kind of I don't overthink it, to be honest with you. I just kind of do each one. But I learned more on Project Eerie than I learned on the entire trilogy. But without the trilogy, I couldn't have made Project Eerie. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
I don't
go.
know if I not, but
Oh, good answer.
Is it my go?
Um,
My go, isn't
I
it?
think so. And we have viewer questions too, but go ahead, Ben.
Okay. I'll get this one in then quickly. I've got if you were given the chance, because I always look at horror films, so I've got to ask this. If you was given a chance to take any famous horror franchise and turn it into a found footage, what would it be?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a tough one.
I know what I would.
I gotta sleep on that one. You guys want to do this again tomorrow? I'm gonna sleep on that one. Honestly, I don't know.
Friday the 13th would be fun.
Yeah, I thought of that, and there was rumored to do that at some point. You guys remember that? It was like kind of
I
a
think so.
small
Yeah.
rumor, like they're gonna go found footage, and I was like, I'm down, okay. But it never happened.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Poltergeist. Would have been a good found footage.
That could have, because that would have been kind of a Paranormal Activity at that point,
Yeah. So
Yeah, I guess any haunted house one could kind of work for sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But Poltergeist, I'm gonna go with Poltergeist. I'm gonna go with
Poltergeist. That's good. That's good. Well, Halloween
Yeah.
tried a found footage type film and didn't really work out so well.
That's true. They did. Resurrection.
Resurrection.
yes.
The thing with that is, though, you got to go full found footage, or you don't do it at all. I hate when the movies go little found footage, and then they're I that one, but you know what I'm saying. There's like found footage movies where there'll be 20 minutes of it that's not. You're like, how did this even happen?
Right.
And then it goes,
right. It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. I hate that.
Before we do the viewer questions, I do want to ask you one thing. So, like we said, we love the films. Are you having fun making these?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say I think I can tell that you are. So that's awesome. It shows in the film.
I think it's funner to market them. It's funner to have it done. Like I know I got to muscle through getting it done, but once it's done, then it's really fun, because now you're like, I can sell this however hopefully I can get some good reviews on this. I can market it and kind of draw in. It becomes fun then.
Mm-hmm.
Making it's not all that fun. Writing it's fun. Sure. Making it's not.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question. So what has it been like screening your films with a live audience? Have you been in the theater with a live audience? What has that been like?
Yeah, it's been great. Honestly, it was like I always kind of wanted. That was like a bucket list thing. I want to make a found footage movie and then like screen it for friends and family, and that was kind of it. That's as far as I thought the first found footage was going to go. To be honest with you, I threw it on Amazon as a Hail Mary.
That's so cool.
It was just like a bucket list. Like, man, that'd be cool. And then it's been great. I did the first 2 fear footage. I had a huge screening for them, running out of theater. But then with the third one, there was COVID, so I kind of couldn't. And then with Project Eerie, I didn't have a local screening like I did with the first 2 fear footages, but it world premiered at Genre Blast, and there might have been like 250 people there, like in the theater as it played, because there's like 400 seats in that theater. And cool. I was totally surprised at how big of an event that was. Like, that was a world premiere for real. So it's been great. That was all strangers, so that was even better to kind of get their perspective, because your friends and family are gonna be like, man, I loved it, it's great. You know what I mean? So these are people that they have no reason to tell you they liked it or they didn't. So that was better. But it's been
very
great.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I can't say it enough. So let's do some viewer questions. Ben, do you want to do the first one, or do you want me to take it?
You can take the first one and I will find them.
Okay, and you'll find them. All right, this is from Matt Forget on Instagram. He's got 2 questions. So what are the biggest challenges and hurdles to overcome in selling and promoting a smaller, less well-known property film series, especially against the bigger budget horror movies that are released? And what are your greatest fears and phobias, and how does that influence your films? Those are great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
So as far as like, I know I can't compete with the bigger movies budgetarily with marketing, but I think I can compete with them creatively with marketing. So I got to kind of do it with that. I just got to be able to bring the people in, and then I think they'll kind of get engaged. I think the marketing's fun. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to make the stuff stand out. So, like with the packaging of the Blu-rays, it's not just like a normal Blu-ray you're getting. It's something where you're like, hey, dude, check this out. Oh, that that may spread to another 3 people and another. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to make it stand out, whether it's the social media marketing or it's like the physical packages or whatever it is. I gotta do it kind of to the next level because it's just me doing it. There is no machine behind me. There's no a marketing team. So I just got to be more creative, I think, than you normally would have to be as far as marketing it. And my biggest fears, I don't even. What is a fear? I know I got them, but I can't think of one right now.
Spiders.
I'm not really. I don't like snakes. Yeah, snakes. Snakes a big fear. And I've been wanting to incorporate snakes in a movie, and I think I'm going to do it with the new project I'm writing because I'm like snakes are scary. I need to. That's one thing I've always wanted to add in, and I never could find a spot for it.
Cool. Count us in. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, Ben, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, next one is from Dylan from Dylan. What's her name?
Dylan England, I think is his last name.
Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Oh,
yeah. Will we get Fear Footage 4?
I actually have a good idea to do a 4th one, but if I do it, I don't think it's not going to be next. So here's the thing: I have 3 projects right now that I think I'm gonna get done in the next like 3 or 4 years, but
awesome.
I don't know which order they're going to be in yet, and I kind of do it to where it's kind of like when I was doing Project Eerie. I didn't know what order I was going to film the stories in. It was just whatever one starts to write itself. It's hard to explain. I really can't explain it, but like whatever one starts to where I just can't keep up with the ideas, that's the one I'm going to do first. So I don't think that's going to be Fear Footage 4. Although I have a great idea for it, I have better ideas for the one I'm working on now. So I think that'll be first, and then I'll see what happens after that. But it's something I haven't done, and I wanted to do it. So that's the only reason I'm going there. But I think I will do another Fear Footage at some point because I do like the idea. And I didn't think I would, but once I found the idea, I'm like, this could work for like a final one. It would be just one more. But I think I may do it. I'm not sure yet, though.
Very cool. Well, fingers crossed. Yes.
Can people just have easier names to read, please?
Your names before you call it.
Yes. Okay. Next, I've got Brian from Fake Voorhees. He said, all of your films have been found footage. What is it about the format that interests you? And do you have plans to make a non-found footage movie in the future?
I don't think I will make a non-found footage movie. One, it really doesn't excite me. And 2, I honestly have no clue how I would do it because I film completely. I'm filming my stuff on an iPhone with flashlights. I wouldn't even know how to do a full production with boom mics, and I don't even know how to do it. I'm sure I can learn, but I'm not interested in learning. I like found footage, and I think it's always scarier in that format. When I think of like the scariest movies I've ever seen, top 5, 3 of them are probably found footage movies. So I feel like it works when it's scary. It works better as found footage, I think. So I don't have any plans to do a non-found footage movie, but we'll see.
Awesome. And I actually had one more question. He said screen life movies such as Unfriended, where it's like a Zoom meeting like this, are often categorized with found footage. Do you enjoy screen life movies, and what are some of your favorites?
I do. I honestly just look at them as found footage. I think they're just like a different version of found footage. So I would still call them found footage, but I remember I love The Den. Have you guys ever seen The Den?
Yes, that's good.
It was like that was a good like screen life one. Host was good. It was that Shudder original. And obviously like Unfriended. I haven't seen a few. I know Deadware. I haven't seen that. I think that's what it's called.
That one. I watched one not too long ago. It was about 20 years ago, and I can't remember what it was. Collingwood's Story.
Yeah.
Something like
that's
that.
Actually another one I've never seen. That's like the originator of those.
Yeah. I mean, the technology is really dated, but it was quite scary. I really liked it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I hear it's great.
Yeah, check it out.
It does.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, over to you, Ben.
The next one is from Christian from Carita78. What film motivates you to create this type of films? Was his first question.
I don't know if anything motivates me. I guess probably the Blair Witch Project is always the influence whenever I'm doing these, even if the movies are nothing like the Blair Witch Project. I mean, that one got it all right. It's very rare a found footage movie gets it all right, and I think the Blair Witch may be the only one I could think of that got it all right as far as like the lore, the marketing, the pacing, the ending. They literally got every piece that you're supposed to do with found footage correctly. So if you're making found footage and you're not influenced by the Blair Witch, you're not making found footage.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. And where are we? I've lost it. No, we aren't. I'm back.
You got it.
And is there anything in the movie that was based on similar or real life events that happened in your life growing up or as an adult?
No, not like any of the scares, but a lot of the with in Project Eerie with the first story with me and my daughter where we're camping, like a lot of that. I mean, we go camping a lot, like that, the motorhome in Ayers Ours, and a lot of that story was just us on camping trips. Like I would film, I would have to get her to do certain things within a time because she was growing so quick. I only had like that summer to get, so I would take the same outfit with us every time we went somewhere, and that way, if I needed, I needed to reshoot something, I outfit, and we did a lot of it quick, but it was like, I kind of based that story off of just our real life, like, just us camping like this. How could this go bad? And I kind of wanted to make a scary camping trip. So none of the scares or anything are based off real life, but the atmosphere and the setting was real life things that gave me the idea.
Cool. No, that's a good answer. So that is your daughter in that segment?
That is.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Her name's Blair.
I thought so. Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. We got one last question, and this is from Horror Comic Smile. He said, I can honestly say the first Fear footage had a jump scare that got me so bad I jumped out of my chair sideways. Awesome.
Wait, what's the jump scare? No.
He didn't say, or he or she.
Oh, he can't leave us hanging.
Yeah, I don't know.
Call it in.
I'll find out. I'll find out and get back to you. As a fan of the trilogy, as a fan of the trilogy, I'd like to know if you have more entries in the series planned or plans for another type of horror film, which we kind of covered already, but I guess you could elaborate a little more.
Yeah. I think there's 3 ideas I'm going to do, and I don't think the Fear footage, if I even do that, I don't think that's going to be the first of those. So, but I have an idea to do it. Like that's the only way I would do it if I had a good idea. Like I wouldn't just kind of force it because I'm okay with how it ended. So I don't really, but
it did come full circle.
I may want to revisit it. It was fun lore to dig through.
Cool. All right. Well, last up, we asked you to pick your top 5 favorite found footage films, and I know it's hard to just choose 5. And Ben and I each chose 5 as well. We tried not to over.
Are we going in order, or are we just going top 5?
Why don't you just do top 5? Why don't you go first, Ricky? What did you pick?
Oh, I'm going first. So I'm going to go Blair Witch. Obviously, Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yep. I got that one in my mix too. I chose that one too.
I'm going to see which ones I want to pick off this right now. So I'm going to go. This is going to be 2 movies, but they're going to count as one. It's going to be Paranormal Activity and Paranormal Activity 5. What was that one? I forget the subtitle of it, but yeah, I can't.
I know I have
the marked ones. The marked ones.
I have the box set right there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Paranormal Activity and Paranormal Activity, the marked one. I mean, Paranormal Activity and Part 5.
They're all pretty good, but yeah, the 5 was a good one.
Yeah. I really love those.
I've got the first one.
Ben picked Paranormal. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's a classic.
What else you got on your list? Game changer for sure. I was just telling Ben before we started recording, I watched that with my mother a couple years ago, and at the end of it, she said, "They still haven't found them?" I was like, that's not real.
Me and my wife saw that, and it was still kind of like only in a few cities at that point. Like not a few, but it was in less than like 200 theaters still, and
Oh
she
yeah, I
thought
saw it in
same-
the theater.
at
Yeah,
the end she's like, "Real? What's going on?"
where
Yeah,
are they?
Like, we started investigating it and shit. But yeah, that was a game changer. That's really
That's a good one.
Blair Witch kind of brought it to the mainstream, but found footage didn't really explode until Paranormal Activity. That's when there was before that there's not many big ones. That's kind of when everyone was, the big ones came.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. But I got The Bay.
Oh, that's a good
Very
one.
good. I like that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Great one. Yeah, that's
That's
fantastic.
cool.
What are we at? We're at
Yes, those are
I got Lake Mungo.
Very good. Very.
Lake Mungo.
I like that.
And that's more mockumentary style, but I put it all under found footage. Like whether it's
Mhm.
screen life, documentary,
Oh yeah, definitely.
actual found, I put it all the same.
I like that.
Have you
So
seen
we're-
the Horror in the High Desert? Have you seen those?
Yeah,
films?
I have.
Those are good too.
Yeah.
All right, what's
What's
your
the one
last?
that I didn't like?
God, my last got so many here. I may go. It's tough, man. I got so many. I think I'm gonna go VHS 94. I thought VHS 94 was fantastic.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's really like in my top 5. It's just one of the newest found footage movies I've seen. Maybe that's why it's there.
Yeah, and I like I said, we didn't. I tried not to overthink it. I just picked ones that I like.
Yeah.
It wasn't not necessarily my favorite all time, but some
I
I
got
think are good and worth seeing.
I need some honorable mentions here. Grave Encounters gets an honorable mention
Yeah, that's
because Grave
good.
Encounters.
Mhm.
The Sacrament. I thought The Sacrament is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, like the Jonestown cult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
good.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's a good one. Yep.
The Triangle. Have you guys ever seen that? Where they're like out in the desert.
Yeah.
It's like that cult. It's fantastic. If you
I don't
had
think
it.
I have. I don't think I have. I'll check it out.
Know what I got on here that I don't think it's enough credit? And then not the TV show, the movie, Catfish. You guys ever seen the original
I haven't.
when it was in theater? You got to see that because it's a found footage movie. It was before the TV show where it kind of went popular. It was
Yes,
just a
yeah,
dude
I've
who
seen it.
chick across the country, and they go on this. It was actually marketed as like a horror movie, which I think is kind of hurt them because if you watch the trailer, you're like, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the movie's not like that. So
No.
they kind of mismarketed it.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
Cool.
Cool. Great choices, man.
Yeah.
Ben, why don't you go next? What'd you pick?
Cool. I wouldn't say these are my top 5. I'm just going to give them a pick because I always pick the same ones. But there's
I tried to mix it up too.
Yeah. So Paranormal Activity definitely is one of my top 5. This was good fun. Digging Up the Marrow.
Yeah, that is a good one. I have that.
That's great. Yeah.
Good fun. Troll Hunter.
Fantastic.
Fun.
I haven't seen
Really
that.
good.
Oh, you got to see Troll Hunt.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It is fun.
It is.
The Last Exorcism.
Hmm.
Which was
Oh
good.
yeah, that was great.
That's good. Yep.
And this is actually probably in my top 10 movies of all time. Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Awesome.
The strange with Cloverfield, I saw Cloverfield in the theater and I was fine. I loved it, thought it was great. I bought it on Blu-ray when it came out, rewatched it. It made me sick as hell because it was so much shaky, which never happens to me in found footage. I make them, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for some reason, at home watching that, it messed me up. I was like, oh my God, I can't watch
when they're
Cloverfield.
when they're running like in the
Like that one's
subways.
super shaky.
Mhm, mhm.
I watched
Um,
like a thing on that, and when there's the scene where they walk through the building that's fallen over, and it's like all leaning, and that was the longest part that I believe that took them to film because they was all getting really sort of like dizzy and disoriented because the room was
Yeah,
tilted.
I'll be throwing up all over the floor.
Yeah, so
Oh gosh. Well, I can run through mine quickly. I picked a few obscure ones. I got Willow Creek, which I thought
Oh, that's
was
good.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
good choice.
Oh, I didn't mention Exist. I also had Exist. I don't mean to cut you off.
Exist is good too. Yeah, they,
yeah,
they,
something like that.
they put out some good Sasquatch horror. What I love about this one is that really long scene in the tent where you can
Yeah.
just hear the noises outside and the looks on their
18
faces. It's 18 minutes, right? It's long.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, it's great. Host I picked. Terrifying. Watched this during COVID and
That was really good. Actually, yeah.
loved
Yep.
it. Frankenstein's Army. I picked.
Fantastic. That's
Pretty good. And then this one, kind of ahead of its time, Cannibal Holocaust.
Of course, that's the OG.
Yep. And I got the 4K version. It looks awesome in 4K.
I don't think I have it in 4K, but that's a good one.
Yes.
I didn't know we were getting out the Blu-rays. I would have been a part of that. I was just
Oh, I should have told you. Next time.
yeah.
So
I would have brought them out.
when your future projects release, we'll have you on again and we can we'll
do it
share the
again. We'll get
physical copies for sure. Let's see. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Can you
thank
say
you.
a little bit more about your new projects or not yet?
No, I don't want to yet. I'm not ready yet. We're not there.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm working.
Okay, awesome. We're excited for whatever you are working on. And how can people find you on social media?
At _fear_footage. And I think it's just the fear footage on Facebook, or that's Instagram. I think Facebook is just the fear footage. And that's all I got.
And your website is thefearfootage.com?
Footage.com. That's where Blu-rays are.
Yes, so check out his website, order these physical copies because they're amazing and they are affordable. And if you want to get the t-shirt, I got the Project Eerie t-shirt. Had to throw that in there.
Look at
that. Awesome. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for your time and for
Good to
chatting
talk
with
with you
us.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
Ben, do you want to do the closeout?
I'll just give you a quick shout out and say these films are brilliant. If you are a fan of found footage films and found footage horror, definitely go and watch these. You won't be disappointed. And a huge thank you for coming on, Ricky.
I appreciate it.
What was I doing? I was closing out one. Oh yeah. Go to Instagram. Look us up on there at A&B Horror Movies. And give us a follow. Also, if you come across this video or you already do follow us, thank you. Hit the like and subscribe because it helps our channel. And thanks again to Ricky.
Good to be with you guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.